Welcome to Delving Deeper with Oleander Hawthorne. Today I have with me Roald Grimble and Einar and Roald. Delving Deeper is a metagame series where we talk about our sessions, our characters, events in game, or generally ask our partners, what the hell were you thinking?
There's a lot of that.
So we are going to discuss today our session 2, or episode 2, where we had the Battle of Crystal Burrow. Now, this was a big session for Roald, specifically because it involved his great nemesis.
Yeah, we're going after this orc. His name's Throck, and I guess that's sort of a key aspect to my character, because that's the dude that pretty much took out my family, so just a tiny little bit of angst there against him. He was responsible for putting me in a prison camp for most of my life, so I didn't like him too much.
Didn't do nice things to your sister.
No, exactly. Certainly did not do nice things to my sister.
Used her vision powers.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, he had your sister trapped with him, apparently, the whole time that you had been enslaved, and after you escaped, he'd had your sister the entire time enslaved. And I
didn't know that, obviously, until, she came around, but yes, exactly. So
I had suspicions.
Yeah, the rest of us were suspecting, after a few clues, that your sister was alive, in fact.
Oh, yeah, like, there was definitely a little trail there. But I was
trail?
Like, you could have just been using that just to create a little bit of, get my character sad and all, because it's, I could have been dead.
So wish we had the Breakfast Club recorded, because Einar did red thread, red threads, red threads, red threads. It sounded absolutely crazy about, because of this, she's definitely alive and taken by him. Oh no, and it was 100% right. Every part of the red thread, it was one of my greatest conspiracy moments, because it was actually right.
I don't know, from my character's perspective, it's like, hey, I haven't seen her in years. I assume she's dead.
And Einar does sound crazy often.
It's not like it didn't make sense. It was a pretty reasonable assumption.
And
so
for you to have, actually embraced that hope that she wasn't dead would have been pretty crushing if we had not, in fact, found her.
That's true.
Yeah.
So you did resist that completely.
Yeah, you're sort of a realist when you live in an orc essentially prison for 10 years and watch them eat people and make them turn on each other. So it tends to have that effect if that's who your character is. So yeah.
So at the beginning of the session, we have just been introduced to this army of orcs that are approaching Crystal Burrow. We are trying to barricade the walls, get all of the soldiers and archers and everything ready for battle, and these orcs are approaching the town.
I started on the other side of the wall.
You started on the other side of the wall.
So you did.
Yeah, that was a misunderstanding at the end of the last session, with the DM implying that I would be able to use my tricks and probably be safe out there with engaging limited ones. And then he read up on, army engagements and was like, yeah, they're going to be able to focus fire too many shots at once if we do this. You need to go back inside the wall for some reason, come up with something, and leave, engaging big old Throck to Roald, because I want to get him hooked. And I had to think about that for 3 weeks and came up with this. The reason he was out there was to inspire everyone, show them that there's nothing to fear, that he was willing to stand out there in front of them as they fired flaming arrows over my head, landing in front of me, kind of call to the men, give a rallying speech that went fairly well, even though I'm not the bard. But hey, it went well. He gave me a roll and it went really well. And then Einar joined them back up in the wall and got a rallying cry from his men and handed it off to the rest of the party. And not a single person picked up and kept going with it. So,
well, as the bard, I was kind of busy causing the first friendly fire.
Honestly, looking into the stuff that normally I would have had my ear to the ground on.
Friendly fire, I don't know. It's not like you meant
I didn't mean to. I just accidentally took down part of the wall and killed a bunch of our people. I didn't mean to. It was an accident. That's just how I roll. So instead of being useful and inspiring, I was blowing stuff up.
I was actually thinking about this today, because I realized how paranoid and how red thready Einar had been for most of the campaign, right up until about this moment in Crystal Burrow, where all of a sudden I dropped my frickin' guard. The DM even is handing me some stuff like, hey, Obsidian Shadows might be around doing shit, Einar, and I'm like, alright, kinda, we should look into this.
Yeah.
We were given blatant hits on these explosives.
Well,
I kind of tracked it a little, but didn't even track it to being Obsidian Shadows shit until it went down. Neither did Drax for a matter, which we are normally on this shit like Bloodhounds. We dropped the ball so bad.
You used to be, and then you got lazy.
We got lazy, we got complacent, we got happy and comfortable all of a sudden. We're like, oh.
See, we're outside the game. I don't know. I don't feel like that's how it went, but that's okay. I sort of feel like he pushed us away from it, but that's just my opinion.
Well, we just kept not sharing information.
But at the same time, no, we
we
really didn't push it, which me...
I don't know. I definitely asked about it a couple times.
The first time we checked, me and Drax, for Obsidian Shadow markings was after Delphine did it before us.
I get that this is a big thing, but like really that mark means absolutely nothing. Anyone can put a mark of soot on their arm, just as a
We're not
outside the game here. But anyways, I'm just gonna point that out. It's like, ooh, I got ash in my arm.
We're not gonna put that idea out there because otherwise I'll be devastated later. Thank you. So anyways.
Oh yeah, right. Oh, that's even better.
He's downplaying. He's downplaying the Obsidian Shadows mark.
You just happened to brush against a little pile of ash. That's what really happened.
You want that to be? We've already talked about how that mark and how it's much more than that.
It's definitely it's a very, very significant mark that very few people can have for only specific reasons. For sure, definitely no alternative or faking it.
No, there's anything to do with it, but like it's absolutely stupid. Any criminal organization that purposely marks themselves like that and makes themselves a target, it really doesn't make sense, but that's okay. We'll just go with it.
I'm allowed to live in denial. Thank you. So anyways, we have this huge battle ahead of us, and we've got all these orcs charging at the town. I actually ended up casting, after blowing a big hole in the wall, I cast plant growth and entrapped them a bit so that they were slowed down. And now, did you start the flaming arrows, or who started the flaming arrows?
No, of course that was Drax.
Yeah, he started with the big ass shot on Thrall.
Oh yeah, I was freaking just thumping Thrall the whole time. I did nothing but shoot arrows at Thrall.
You had some big arrows at that game. Do you remember what they were?
Yeah, I had a tidal wave arrow essentially. I managed to pick one up, and
that was important.
I was like, let's play with this blue arrow. I honestly, when I shot it, I thought it was gonna be like decent arrow, but I thought it'd be like, I don't know, maybe something that like returns or something like that. Some sort of plus bow, plus sort of arrow. But yeah, no, it was pretty sweet.
Delphine had some great big plans, and then the battlefield kept changing. And those plans kept shifting on it. Like the Wall of Force was huge when it came out.
Yeah.
But then the battlefield shifted to the other side, right? Because they didn't attack that side because the math was going off. There's one thing we can point out. The plant growth was huge. It covered
the entire
a massive amount of time.
Well,
it slowed down. It got the DM so distracted because he was tired that he forgot about being able to like bonus action move. So he was only moving his characters literally like half, like a quarter of their distance. Some of them were throwing stuff or getting frustrated, but were out of range and taking. And we would have had much more of an engagement if the double movement had happened. But it's almost like that plant growth and then Drax taking a moment to be like, everyone take a moment to light your arrows on fire and we'll skip around, and then lighting the entire area on fire.
That was
realistically, it almost was like it sapped the intelligence and the chaos out, almost explaining
it helps when
the disarray.
Your DM, really understands fire. So he
was definitely
made it like way more than
he was definitely working with fire things from firefighting
I'm just gonna like put that out there,
which was awesome.
Most teams like, that's not like it's a fireball. This does like a D6 around, but no, he's like, no, they fucking burn.
It's increasing. Like, there's smoke inhalation going on. They can't see shit. You can't see them.
Anywho,
I didn't do much, honestly. I mostly commanded and gave, like I didn't even take command of troops. The one thing I did do was once it was given us a hint after she blew up the wall that there was Obsidian Shadows people among us trying to do this, I tracked my men, nobody really amongst them. We stopped one more guy, but we only had one major explosion on the wall, really.
Yeah, no, we actually did really well.
It was two. No, there was the other side right by the gate.
There was that.
Yeah.
There was the explosion I caused, and then there was actual explosions from the enemy.
The one that
which-
yelled, "For the Obsidian Shadows!" and
Yes.
jumped down and blew up
Yeah.
by us.
'Cause
Yeah.
we had traitors in our midst as well. So.
Which was when we were like,
Yeah.
of course there's Obsidian Shadows here.
Yeah. Now, tell us about finally facing your nemesis.
I know there wasn't really a lot to it. I just freaking pounded him with arrows, and then I don't know. During the fight, I think I got scared. It was sort of funny because it was like, you know, the DM was, I think, trying to give me the killing blow, but unfortunately, I had both haste. That wore out. That took me out for a round, and then I got feared, and I had to run away, and eventually somebody else got him. So
Somebody else got him, eh? So
But
Einar got him.
distinctly trying not to.
Yes.
I jumped off the wall the opposite direction because the DM had been like, let you know, you don't need to take this one. It's like, yeah, you know what, I don't. And there's an Obsidian Shadows guy assaulting Druken and his Trebuchet crew, which have been doing a hell of a lot of like. That's why we haven't really mentioned Druken yet. The entire time he's been like, Trebuchet crew, load up, hit shit. Trebuchet crew, load up, hit shit. And it's been honestly, he's been pounding at Throck and the areas. It's been pretty
yeah,
funny.
that trebuchet was good.
But there's a guy going at it. He's gonna cause them disruption. So rather than letting them get disrupted, I'm like, I got him. So I jump off the wall, engage this Obsidian Shadows guy, beat him up and knock him out, which comes into relevance later for Drax, actually. And then looking around, there's literally no one around me. Druken has run to the front gate because Throck has appeared at that explosion.
Right.
He's got a few men with him.
Oh, yeah.
I can see Oleander, who's like giving me the salute and mental talk of like, go get him, Tiger. And he's there. And he's beating up my friend. I walk over. I even pulled my punches. I didn't do action surge. I didn't throw in any extra dice. But he had hammered him hard enough several times that it was like, here's one weak hit.
Oh, I really
here's a second weak hit. And that was enough to draw Throck.
Yeah.
Yep.
But you got the cool moment at the end, though.
Oh yeah, like of course I had my little spiel, of course, you know, saying that I was really happy I killed him, and it was good to avenge my family, essentially.
Yeah.
He came to spitting blood at you.
Yeah. And then
I
and then
got
he was
stuck in- I
gone.
probably stuck an arrow in his eye or something.
You did.
Like that.
Yeah, I think you.
Yeah,
I think
pretty
that's
sure
how
I did
you
that.
ended it off.
Yeah, and then spat on him.
Yeah, and then that was the end of Throck, the end of the orc tribe, essentially, that had held you captive and enslaved so many people, taking so many children
Like
from.
Elven tribe.
Wiping out your elven tribe.
We shouldn't talk about what those events yet.
Yeah, but so anyways, it was a great battle. The DM had intended for it to come into the town and like slaughtering so many and just devastating the town. But then it never ended up really even barely reaching the gates, which was kind of funny.
Yeah,
So
we stomped them.
yeah, we really did that.
That fire just
Oh.
absolutely decimated them, and the spells and
Yeah.
whatnot.
The end of it was Einar wading into the, yelling at a bunch of orcs running away about how he's going to come for each one of them,
Yeah, it
and
was pretty
you running
ridiculous.
up behind, like we were chasing them off.
Yeah.
Like,
The
like
last
four
few
of us.
stragglers ran away.
Yeah,
was-
the battle looked like it was not in our favor, but yeah, anyways.
Yeah. So that it just goes to
Tactics.
show that no matter what you have coming at you, you never really know how it's going to turn out. Something really easy ends up killing people, and something really hard ends up not getting anywhere. But after the battle, then we ended up going and finding out that the captain of the guard was a traitor.
Yeah.
She was helping to get the Obsidian Shadows into the village, helping them, taking children. She ended up using and abusing her power and her position to absolutely devastate the town. And we took a little bit of a insult to that on their behalf and our behalf, and nobody liked that except for somebody didn't mind so much. Never understood that one. But we did take her captive, handed her into the town guard so that they could hold her, even though we didn't entirely trust that the Obsidian Shadow wouldn't sneak in and break her loose. So that would begin the next couple sessions, I believe, where we have a lot of interaction with Captain Valera.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Delphine and Druken wandered into tent and found her while we were hurting guys' feelings outside by the fire. and Drax was dragging off the Obsidian Shadows guy I'd knocked out for a friendly conversation when no one was watching him, while Roald honestly kind of stood about surveying the wreckage of everything.
Pretty much, yeah.
Now,
Oh, and I made everyone give the money that we got off the orcs to back to the town.
yeah.
So there.
It wasn't so much a maid as we were happy.
Yeah, we left that to the town. But yes, it was your suggestion.
They didn't have a lot on
Yes.
them.
Yeah. Now, end of the battle, we are trying to corral the people that are organized or in charge of the town, so that the council. We're trying to get the council to convene, so that we can say, "Hey, you've got traitors in your midst," and I go to find my friend that has ran back alone to the manor, and I want to have a little talk with him. But I find him packing up his bags, trying to leave without any kind of word. And I was a little bit sad and a little bit insulted because he's left me once before without saying goodbye, and he was trying to do it again. Now, we're all a little paranoid. We're all a little paranoid, right? Right?
Sure.
Everybody's super, super paranoid. We just found out that we had traitors in the guard. The captain of the guard herself is a traitor. We think that there are people on the council that are probably traitors. And then I look down and I roll, I think, a 20-something for perception and see a smudge of the obsidian shadow on the hand of...
The DM specifically focuses on it as he's reaching for guns to put away.
Yeah. So, this guy is a bard, amongst other things, so I know that he's a caster. Now, this is one of those things that everybody doesn't seem to understand my rationale, but I did have rationale, and it sounds like psychopath rationale now. But at the time, I was panicking, and I thought, I'm stuck alone with this guy who is super, super powerful, and if he can speak, he can hurt me. And so I was trying to stop him from speaking, and I may or may not have gone for the throat. At no point did I think that that was going to kill him.
Poor choice of words for the intent. The intent was there. It was obvious trying to subdue.
Yeah.
But the words, I tear his throat out. And
Yeah.
the DM decided, yeah, he's beat up enough, this can kill him.
Yeah, I didn't know he was injured. I didn't know. It didn't occur to me when you are faced with somebody who you think is invincible, and then all you're trying to do is your damnedest to not die on your own. I didn't think until afterwards, of course, he wasn't going to hurt me. So I killed the man that I loved growing up, and that was awful. So I caused my own trauma, and then I went home and cried. For real. Because I was so excited to finally find this guy that had been, that I've been searching for 6 years, and then he was dead in less than, I think, 24 hours of me finding him, because I am a catastrophe. So, that is that. That is our session 2.
That's pretty much how session 2 ends.
Yeah. Anyways, thank you very much for joining us for Delving Deeper. If you have any questions, feel free to put them in the chat. Please tell me if you guys have caused your own trauma or catastrophe. I would really like to not be the only one. And give us a like and a follow, and we'll see you soon.
In loving memory of Guy, 2.5 whole episodes.